Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, and this is Totally Tropical Todd, and I am here with a quick update on Hurricane Milton. So let's start off here with the with our watches, warnings, projected cone. So currently, Milton is becoming a major hurricane, and it is headed towards the Yucatan Peninsula. There is currently a hurricane warning and a tropical storm warning and a hurricane watch along much of the northern Yucatan. You can see that here in Florida, we're on a hurricane watch for much of the west coast already, and a tropical storm warning for some of the Panhandle and the Keys areas. Once not too much has changed, the storm did track a little further south than projected. Again, like I said, these model projections haven't quite come into agreement yet, but the agreement so far is looking like Tampa Bay is pretty much the target. Now, the worst case scenario, I think, would actually be hitting just north of Tampa Bay and getting the biggest storm surges just to the south in Tampa. That's kind of a worst case scenario. This was something that was been written up in 2004 in National Geographic. They said Tampa is one of the most vulnerable cities. Tampa and New Orleans are two of the most vulnerable cities in the United States. A Cat 5 hitting New Orleans, a Cat 4 hitting Tampa could be devastating. So this has the potential to be a pretty devastating storm, depending on exactly where it tracks. One of the other really big considerations is right here, the peak storm surge forecast. So for those of you that have been watching my channel, you know the most dangerous thing in any hurricane is the storm surge. And the storm surge, again, these hurricanes, they don't actually blow wind out. They're like a high pressure system. They're a low pressure system. They actually suck. They actually suck wind in. They're spiraling up almost like a giant tornado. So it's the spiraling up of the winds, and that low pressure actually sucks so hard that it bulges the ocean up beneath it. So you get this big column of water that's pulled up by the low pressure of this hurricane. And as that bulge moves on shore, it brings this massive column of water on shore, and that causes the flooding and inundation, which, a lot of times these storms are preceded by days of heavy rainfall, very heavy rainfall as they approach as well. So that just, that soaks the ground, saturates the ground. So when this storm surge comes in, it really has nowhere to go. And Tampa, as you can see, these areas here, really vulnerable to storm surge, and this is where the largest projected storm surge for this storm is going to be, is Tampa Bay. They're saying 8 to 12 feet, and you can see how far inland this water can get. So please, heed these warnings and be safe. Just going through some of the key messages, and this came out about an hour ago. The dangerous hurricane force winds expected in the Yucatan, obviously threatening storm surge. Also, life-threatening storm surge for portions of the west coast of Florida beginning Tuesday night early into Wednesday. Storm surge and hurricane watches are now in effect, as I said. There's going to be heavy rainfall, but I don't think the rainfall is really the big concern. Although we could get some, flash flooding, urban flooding. If you don't have to drive in Florida, stay off the roads, obviously. We know we've been through these hurricanes many times before, most of us. This one, is looking to be a really potentially large threat. So because of the intensity and the threat of this storm, I will try and give twice daily updates at least. Perhaps, Tuesday, Wednesday, doing even more frequent if the situation warrants. So, please like and subscribe just to stay up to date on the situation, and stay safe.